Hello, we are trying again.
Hey guys.
So, Taryn, who are you?
Hey guys, thank you for joining us. So my name's Taryn Williams. I'm the founder of Wink Models and TheRight.fit. So I founded my first business, Wink Models, about 10 years ago now. It's very much a traditional offline modelling agency. So we have offices in Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane and about 650 models Australia-wide. So about 4 years ago now, I got to a point with that business where we just couldn't continue to scale. Basically, every time we were hiring and recruiting new models, we were having to add new bookers, and it just wasn't a viable, scalable business. So I decided to build an end-to-end onboarding, calendar management, and payroll integration software. So that was my first sort of foray into technology, and it really transformed that business. It basically allowed us to continue to scale, to continue to add new talent, removed all the key man dependencies and opportunities for human error in the business. It was definitely a really time-consuming process, but definitely a really worthwhile one. And I just totally fell in love with building and solving problems with technology, and I kind of see the opportunity for a two-sided marketplace for the creative industry. There's a lot of things changing in our industry during the sort of 18 months that I was building that first product for Wink Models. And there was sort of the advent of the social media influencer, brands needing to create more content than ever before to feed these always-on social channels. The move to smaller bits of snackable digital content, so smaller pieces of video that lived online for shorter periods of time. More relatable talent being required for campaigns. So that's where the idea for TheRight.fit came from. So it really is a two-sided marketplace for creative talent. We have everything from photographers, hair and makeup artists, influencers, stylists, social media influencers, videographers. There's about 17 different categories. And on the other side of the market, we have clients. So producers, PR agencies, right through to direct brands and startups, advertising agencies.
Thanks, Joanna. Thank gosh.
Yay, nailed it. Thanks, Joanna. So that was sort of the initial idea for TheRight.fit. We've now got about 6,500 talent on the platform. We screen every candidate on the platform, and then clients can simply come to the platform, post a job. Think of it like an air tasker or a freelancer for the creative community. So you can post a call out saying, I need a videographer for a shoot tomorrow, and I've got a budget of $1,000, and then videographers who are based in your state and in your location and available for your job can put themselves forward. You can chat back and forth on the platform and book them in, and we manage all the annoying admin, paperwork, insurances, heavy lifting, all of the boring stuff, so you guys can get back to doing what you do well.
Awesome. So you had your original business, Wink Models.
Yes.
How was that transition over to handing that over to do this?
Yeah, it was definitely really scary. Obviously, it's my firstborn and I love it so much. But I also had really itchy feet. So I'd been in that business for probably 7 or 8 years by that point. And I, thankfully, building this tech product, it had really removed a lot of key man dependencies. So all of the sort of client information and talent information was maintained in our Wink database now. So it was, I don't want to say easy. It was personally very challenging and scary stepping away from the business. But I have an amazing team who make the magic happen on a day-to-day basis.
Which is awesome. And what was the biggest learning that you think you had as a leader for kind of setting your personal issues aside with it to kind of move the team forward? I think I put a lot of processes in place, so like reporting processes, so that I felt like I guess I still had control. So I knew that the team were really clear on when to come to me, that they could still come to me if they had questions and advice, and put some sort of processes in place so that, okay, these are the things that will come to me, these are the things that don't need my sign off, and setting just a once a month board meeting so that they could come to me, update me, that I got sort of involved in what was going on, and then left them to their own devices, and they've gone on to thrive, and it's sort of got a whole new life now, which is awesome. Right? Which is, it's exciting. It's cool to see them doing their own thing, and I see things in the news and I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome, I didn't know you guys are doing that. Totally proud mom moment. So that's awesome. So TheRight.fit then, day one, how did you guys get started? How did you kind of get your first traction?
So we'd obviously had a lot of key learnings from building the platform from Wink. So I knew kind of a lot of the features and functionality that I wanted. Obviously sat down and mapped that out, this time smartly, built an MVP instead of just building the bigger than Ben-Hur system. So I built an MVP and started onboarding our supply side, so the talent side first. And obviously, thankfully, we had a pretty good supply side from my little black book of contacts and Wink Models. And so started onboarding, clients, talent photographers, hair and makeup artists, stylists, and we launched with about 450 talent.
That's great.
Yeah, which was pretty awesome. So we had sort of like a 3-month soft launch where it was just talent onboarding themselves and going through that process, and then launched the client side of the database and started building that. So again, we had a pretty good little black book of contacts to go to and say, look, this is a new platform. This is how it works. Give it a try. Give us your feedback. We obviously spend a lot of time in beta testing, sitting down with clients and going, okay, what would you need? What features and functionalities would you use?
And have you used it yourself as a client, I guess?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely have gone on and booked, photographers for events and things like that we've needed. So going through the process yourself, I think, is super important. You totally know that.
But with trying to get client, or I guess one side or supply side on at the beginning, would you do that process again if you were going to start another startup or another market?
Yeah, definitely. I think having some really clear messaging about what your value proposition is. People are inundated with messages on a day-to-day basis, so I think you have to have a really clear. This is why you should use us. This is, the benefits. This is why, and this is how it's different. And we were really asking people to change their way of doing things. So traditionally, they would go and call a production company or a talent agency if they needed some of the services we were providing them. So it really was a mind shift for them, going, okay, like an Airtasker would have gone through. Okay, now you don't need to do that. You can come to an online platform. You can post what you need, and you can find freelancers to do that work for you. So
fantastic.
So getting them to change that mindset. So definitely making sure you've sort of mapped out all of the fear points that people are going to have when they're using a new platform, and then working backwards from there.
That's great. And supply and demand is obviously a challenging one for all two-sided marketplaces. What are the things that are the big no-nos that you've learned along the way for two-sided marketplaces to get scale?
I think it's really important to try and find that liquidity point. So obviously we're in a pretty unique position, unlike maybe a cleaning marketplace or a courier marketplace where everyone that joins expects to have a job every single day or wants to have a job every single day. In our marketplace, obviously, people's skill sets are quite unique. So a drone videographer isn't going to get as many bookings as maybe a fashion photographer. So there's a little bit of an understanding in our marketplace, but obviously trying to get that liquidity point right so that people are coming, both sides of your marketplace are obviously coming and having a great experience. You don't want clients coming, posting a job and not being able to find a person that matches their brief. And same for the talent. You don't want them signing up and then waiting, crickets for months going, I haven't received one single job request. So I think you need to really make sure that when you launch, you've got, a little bit of, supply and demand on both sides ready to go, and hopefully some existing bookings that you can start manually servicing, maybe before you've got the thriving marketplace happening.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And what are the 3 things that you would definitely do if you're going to start, if you're a startup today?
Get great people around you. So hire an awesome team if you can from day one. Obviously it's hard. You've got no money, you can't afford them. But try and get great people around you. So if you can't afford to hire them, try and get them as mentors or as contractors or in some sort of capacity, because I think it's so important. There's only so much that you can do on your own. So I would definitely get great people around you. Go to lots of networking events and ask lots of questions. So, or join groups, or, I think that's really important. There's always someone who's been through this before. Definitely for us with marketplaces, there's so many amazing marketplace experts out there. So getting in front of them, asking them, how did you do this? How did you build out your, how did you reach your liquidity? What pain points did you go through in growth hacks? Anything like that. There's always someone who will be helpful and happy to give you an hour of their time, or a coffee and or a cocktail, a glass of wine, and sit down and help you solve those problems. Definitely. The third one.
Doesn't have to be a third one.
Third one, probably build in stages. I think try not to go too big too quickly and release a whole bunch of new functionality. We definitely probably went through that and released a few way too many things all at once, and it can be a little bit overwhelming for your marketplace. So I think get really clear on each feature. Is it going to add value, and how is it going to add value, and how can you clearly communicate it to both sides?
That's a really smart point. And so advisory boards, what are your thoughts on that for startups?
So important. So important. I think I have a formal board, and then I have an informal advisory board. Amazing. I couldn't do it without both of them. So I think it's really, really important if you can get the right people around you that you can go to for advice. And I have different people for really different things. So whether it's like an e-commerce play, or whether it's solving a marketing growth problem or marketplace problem, I have different people that I'll go, hey, this person's really great in that space, or HR, who am I going to call and go to and sit down and keeping them abreast of your journey and, you know, what you're working on and keeping them in the loop. People want to help other people. So I think if you can build them out, and it's great to have someone to hold you accountable and say, okay, well, you know, you said you were going to, you know, implement these things to help with team culture or whatever.
Yeah. What have you done?
What have you done? Exactly. You know, it's been a month since I saw you.
Just been having cocktails.
Totally. You've been so busy being busy, which is so easy to do, as we all know. So I try and lock mine in as breakfast meetings once a month and go and see them. You know,
kick off the day.
Kick off the day.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly. Before everyone's day gets away from them and you're like, I'm too busy.
And so how do you then as a leader keep pushing yourself to keep evolving? Because, you know, you as a leader day one and what the skill sets you needed to drive the business are very different to where they are now.
Totally.
And what is required to drive this business.
Yeah.
So how do you keep evolving?
Yeah. It's super challenging, and that's definitely something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, because you kind of level up.
Yeah.
Like you get to this place and you're like, cool, I've got this. Like I'm on top of this. Oh, wait, no, we're going through another
again.
Like here we are going into a new market or, you know, doing something new, and you're like, geez, I need to be a better leader. I need to be a better CEO. I need to be a better board member. I need to be a better human being. I need to be a better friend, a better boss. Like, so you do have to constantly keep evolving, and it's challenging. So it's really hard. This is why I definitely have like one close mentor who I work with on a regular basis, and then a lot of reading of books.
Yeah,
definitely. Like the
The
Hard Thing About Hard Things by
one.
Ben Horowitz is amazing, and I think it really helps you keep things in perspective about how tough the startup journey is. There's another one called Legacy, which is about the All Blacks, which is really awesome. So there's a few in that space that I just really, really love. I'll post a little link to some of my faves. So I think constantly reading about other people's journey to try and keep it in perspective and go, okay, like here's some tips, here's some things that I can be doing to try and better myself. And then recognizing your skills gap. And I think letting your team be really brutally honest and go, okay, like you are sucking at whatever, you know, like this, you know, no one starts out being an awesome CEO. Like, let's be honest, you know, especially at our age. You know? So, you know, you're going to have bits that you're not great at, and that's okay. And so you either hire someone who can fill those for you, or you go, I actually really want to be really awesome at that. I'm going to take some courses and I'm going to read some books and I'm going to try make an active effort.
And assess yourself
really
constantly. Yeah, no, which is great. And so co-founders are a tricky one in the space. You know, we hear lots of differing opinions on this thing, whether, you know, investors won't invest unless there's two co-founders, or I think that's slightly changed now where they won't shoebox people as much. Yeah. What are your thoughts on co-founders? Do you need them? Do you not? And, you know, how do you go about finding one?
Yeah, and I think it's a really interesting one. I think you have to have some sort of skill. It's amazing how many people come to me and they're like, I'm going to launch a business in something that I have no idea about, like, and I'm not a tech founder. And I'm like, okay, well, what sort of skill are you bringing to the table here? My personal opinion, and this is just mine, is that you either need to have deep domain expertise and really understand that place, or be the tech founder. So I think you can't be neither. Ideally, if you could have both, awesome. That you know, that is great. If you've got an amazing person who you have a great synergy with, who you trust, because finding a co-founder is tough. And you hear so many
horror stories
about that, and they're like a marriage. You know what I mean? Like, this is, you literally cannot get out of these things. You're supposed to be in it for life. Actually, probably harder than a marriage. Let's be honest. So, I mean, ideally, if you can have, if you've got someone who complements your strengths and weaknesses, that's great, definitely. But otherwise, I don't think get too hung up. A lot of people are like, I can't do this project because I can't find a co-founder.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessarily, as you say, as important maybe as it was, where it used to be probably someone who had domain expertise and someone who could build the tech. Now I think it is not, definitely by no means easy to get access to tech resources, but it's definitely become a lot more affordable, I would say, to get access to at least building an MVP and the barriers to entry in that space. So you can go out, build something, test your idea, get a proof of concept, and then go, okay, well, I know that this is viable. Now I can build a team around that.
You know, I've forgotten who said it, but ideas are cheap, execution is gold. And, you know, people who come in saying, I'm worth, you know, 10, you know, whatever the percent or whatever the dollar figure, just because they've got an idea doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be able to execute and bring it to the table. Right?
So true.
It's nuts. But there's also a lot of free tools out there to learn how to code yourself and put websites together, or even landing pages, which never, you know, wasn't particularly there before. You know, there's things like ShareTribe and Marketplacer, which the days of OneShift, when we first started, I would definitely have done that. Whereas it wasn't around.
So true. So true.
It's an evolving market. You know, there's great programs like Ruby on Rails, Ruby Girls. There's things. RubyMind's a great tool to kind of play around with to try and get a website up.
Ooh, I'm gonna
Codecademy is a good one.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You tried that out?
Yeah.
Good. Cool.
So,
Leading by example.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. Like, it's just about digging in and seeing what's out there. Like, you're constantly like, I'm subscribed to so many like different newsletters and whatever that you're like, oh, cool, I didn't know. I'll jump in and have a play. Like, maybe that's something that might be useful to us, or maybe we could build an integration with that.
Yep.
You know, there's so many, as you say, off-the-shelf things now that
make it a lot more easy, accessible.
Exactly.
So what's next for you girls?
Oh God,
team. Sorry,
team. Yeah,
yes.
We do. Although we do have more girls in the team than boys. So we're like trying to lead by example in that front.
Yep.
Our digital marketing manager's a girl,
Awesome.
But you've got the cool female CTO. I would love that.
Jess,
I'm coming to get you,
my
mate.
business partner. She is tall and can actually, you know, she's a very smart cookie, to say the least.
Genius.
Yes.
What's next for us? So obviously continuing to bed down Australia, build out the marketplace here. There's obviously just so much left to do in this space, which is awesome. But then definitely looking at international markets as well. So hopefully rolling out in Asia Pacific in Q1 next year, which is exciting. And then other highly fragmented creative markets, so like the States and Europe. So one foot in front of the other, though. You know, the big risk with marketplaces, as you know, is you go too big too quick, and everyone gets burned. So
So how would you approach going to Southeast Asia? What is the planning behind the scenes to get there?
Yeah, so we're really lucky in that we have some quite great strategic partnersps out of Australia who have head offices in Singapore.
Great.
So we'll be using that obviously as a little foothold into that market. We've already tested the markets and just to see if there's initial interest. And I would definitely recommend that with anyone who's trying a new market. You don't need to go and set up an entire office and localize there, and just start, put up some landing pages and see if there's interest, run a few ads, see if you're actually going to generate any business before you start, going and spending the expense of going there.
Yeah.
Research what grants are available, see if there's any easy way to sort of softly enter the market without spending a fortune. So that's definitely going to be our plan, to see how much we can do from an Australian base, and then once we know it's going to be a viable option, put someone on the ground, probably in Singapore, possibly Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then, start obviously testing out our marketing strategy in each of those.
That's awesome. So city by city sounds like it's the approach for you guys. Why are you taking that approach?
I think it's really important to make sure you have that liquidity point. So we want to make sure that there's supply and demand. In our marketplace, again, it's a little bit different because people do travel their supply if they need to. So if they're shooting in Japan, they may be flying photographers out. Oh my God. I see some of the jobs come through our platform. There was one just recently for a week shoot in the Maldives, and I was like, ugh. I need a holiday so bad. Take me, I'll go for free. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to pay me.
For the right fit purposes,
yeah, this is marketing.
Making sure the marketplace works.
Exactly, exactly. So,
that's terrible.
Oh, no. Some of I know. I just need like 100,000 more friends, and then I can be an influencer, and then I can go to the Maldives. Exactly. So add me so I can go to the Maldives.
Sorry. So scaling city by city. Unit economics. What are they? What the ones that you particularly look at when you're trying to launch a new city?
Yeah. So for us, obviously, so we don't spend much money to acquire our supply side of our database, which is great. Obviously, a lot of it's word of mouth and organic growth for us, which is fantastic. There's nothing out there like us for a talent side of the marketplace, which is really fantastic. So there's a lot of referrals. Talent have a great experience, obviously. So the supply side of our marketplace goes really organically. We get about 250 applicants a day.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yep.
So most of our spend is on the customer side of the marketplace, and then that's broken down across sort of social, search, building out an SEO and content strategy. So those things are obviously really important to us. So then it's just tracking acquisition costs and lifetime value of the customer. What's actually going to make it viable for us to continue buying customers?
Yep.
How much they're worth to us over time. I think they're really important things, obviously, to track in a marketplace, in most businesses, actually.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Definitely. So how did you understand those metrics? Like where did you set? Was there a mentor that gave you that feedback to kind of set up that framework, or is it a book or a website, or what can people look at to figure out their own business model?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I spent a lot of time working with my mentor and our CFO on when we were building out the original business plan back in, 18 months ago or whatever, working out, okay, what would we need for this business to actually be financially viable? Because it's great to be like, I'm going to launch a marketplace, or I'm going to launch any business and sell stuff. But if you don't actually know if it's going to be financially viable, like what's your burn rate going to be per month? How many customers do you think you can acquire? How big is the market? Like even just sitting down, and even if you're not pitching, going through the process of putting together what a pitch deck would look like. So, okay, this is how big the market is. These are our competitors. This is, what our unique selling propositions are going to be. So you've gone through that and you've gone, okay, well, this is what the unit economics look like. They're going to be scalable. They're healthy. We're actually going to get the payback in month 1 or month 3. We know we need to, retain these clients for 6 months before they become viable or whatever. So making sure you go through that process, because otherwise there's so many businesses that can, you hear these horror stories out of the States where they're like spending $1.50 to earn $1, and it's not going to ever be viable.
No.
So.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
So finding the investment then in Australia,
yes.
but I mean the VC world in the States is hugely different. They spend to make $1 from $1.
Growth. Yeah, exactly.
So what's the mentality that you see here in Australia, and how did you approach getting funding?
Yeah, and I think it's about finding people who are really aligned on what success looks like, because there are definitely investors who will be like, just like grow, go to new markets, which may be what you want and may make sense.
Yep.
Or you might be like, this is our plan, this is how we want to execute. So I think being clear as a founder what you want, and then finding people that align with that. So we were really strategic and sort of made a bit of a hit list of like dream partners. What would they look like? What sort of skills would they have? What experience would they have? What could they bring to the table aside from just money? Because obviously money's great, but I don't want to say you can get money anywhere, but you can go
have
and
a machine that prints money for free. Oh my
exactly.
God!
It's just in the next room if you just want to pop in. So obviously getting money is important, but I think you can end up with dumb money or people who aren't aligned on what success looks like, and end up
fighting more,
totally
focusing more on that than the business,
the business itself. So we sort of made this like hit list, and I always recommend this to people. Like, who would your like dream investor be? Like, I don't know, like some expert in your field, or someone who can really drive supply or demand or whatever it is.
Yep.
And going, okay, so we made a bit of a hit list, and then went and spoke to them and just went, okay, like this is what we're doing. This is the idea. This is the premise. We were like about 2 months old. It's a lot of blue sky thinking. You don't really have any metrics or traction or anything to show at that stage. But if you've gone through that process of going, okay, well, we know we've got healthy and scalable unit economics. We know this is the size of the market. This is what we can do. Would you be interested in helping us? Whether that's as like an advisor, strategic partner, an investor. I think that's a really good way to have conversations, and hopefully investment will naturally sort of fall out of that.
From there. That's great. And do you find that a try before you buy essentially sort of arrangement works, like dating before somebody invests is a better way to approach it?
Definitely. And I think it's so important to get to know each other. Do reverse due diligence. Obviously they're doing it on you. Make sure you call their other investments or other people that have worked with them, and how do they work? What do they like? Are they going to be good people? Like spend time hanging out. And, this one is definitely like a marriage, and like you legit can't get out of it. So like you don't want to find out in 6 months' time, you're like, wow, like you are not what I thought at all. So try and do as much as you can, and find there's different investors for different people. So like there's some people want really hands-off investors who are like, cool, here's the money, see you again next year or whatever. There's other people who want really hands-on, proactive in the business, adding value. So working out what that looks like to you, what you want, and then getting really, really clear with them. This is what my expectations are of you as an investor. This is what I want you to do. This is how I see our relationship working. Are you going to have a board seat? What is all that going to be like? I think for to ask questions, I think so many people go through the process being like, oh my gosh, I should just like take
smiling.
Yeah, exactly. Smiling away, but like this, I should just take whatever's being, offered to me. Make sure you like super understand all of the things in the term sheet. Make sure that if there's anything that you don't know, ask. No one's going to think you're stupid.
You better ask them pre-signing.
Exactly. And if you're not comfortable with it, if you're like, no, like I seriously can't agree with that, like explain that to them and go through all of it. Like, here's my logic. Like, why do you need that term, or what is it supposed to protect? Or and hopefully you can arrive at a place. But there's no point signing something that you're not comfortable with. And there's no harm in asking those questions and working to get to a place where you're both aligned on, okay, cool, we're both comfortable, we both feel like we're winning. You never want to go in with someone feeling like, well, I just totally got fucked on that deal.
Yeah, definitely. So then as a startup, how do you value a business?
Super difficult. I mean, obviously the market will give you some sort of indications as to what sort of other deals are out there of similar size. In the very early days, it really comes down to the founder, the team, like the passion. Have you executed before? How big is the market? And and how can you justify that? So it is really difficult. And I think the really important thing is that you see so many, you hear of so many startups going out and being like, we're valued at $20 million, like day one, it's after we haven't built anything yet, we've got no customers, but we think that we're like, you have to be sensible and reasonable. Don't forget, investors see deals all day, every day. This is what they're best at. If you go in with some sort of crazy expectation, it shows how naive you are as a founder. But it's also going to fuck you for your follow-on rounds. Like, if you're going in with a super high valuation on day one, what what's your next round going to look like? So be realistic and go, okay, well, this is the growth that we think we can achieve. This is what we want our next round to look like. You know, at some point, like, you're obviously going to get diluted each way through. So think about that and be realistic and go, okay, well, this round should be this sort of size.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. And from your experience then, life after investment, people kind of have this mentality that, oh, great, you raised some money, you're successful. That's it, job done. Everybody go home now.
Oh, my God, I know.
Did you buy a house with that money? Or?
It's so funny, isn't it? Because everyone celebrates raising money when really it's like,
we can pay the bills.
Yeah, it's like the toughest thing. And there's never a great time to celebrate. It's like, you know, when I'm sure when you exited, you know, there's no like, do you celebrate when you get the term sheet? Or do you celebrate when you finally all agreed on the term sheet? Do you celebrate when you sign the shareholders agreement? Do you celebrate when the money arrives? Like, there isn't really actually a time. And by the time like the cash actually hits your bank account, you're like, wow, like now we've like committed to all of these amazing growth targets. Like, we are like, no one's got time to go out for lunch. Like it is heads down, bums up. I definitely don't think you just, it is a really interesting thing to celebrate. And you hear about amazing businesses that have managed to scale without raising any external investment, which is like incredible. So yeah, definitely. Like, I think a lot of people get hyped on, oh my God, they raised $20 million or whatever, and that's a sign of success. The metrics need to be right, and you need to be making sure that you're raising the right amount of money for your business at the right time.
Yeah, no, very true. And so, you know, in the future as a leader, do you see yourself always being in the right fit or other businesses, or, you know, what's the future for you, Taryn?
Great question. God, I don't know about a leader. I'm still like just trying to keep fresh milk in the fridge and, you know, keep the wheels turning every day. I don't know. I mean, obviously I've got a lot of work left to do in the right fit, and I'm really excited about this opportunity, and, you know, growing it and scaling it internationally, I think is definitely my passion for the next few years. We've got a lot of hard work and a lot of hard slog ahead of us. So that's definitely the next few years, but I definitely love having little side projects and side hustles. Unfortunately, I don't have much time between Wink and the Right Fit right now, but definitely once we sort of get out the other side of, fingers crossed, of the Right Fit being a success, definitely I would like to, I love investing in other companies, and I love meeting other founders, and so that will hopefully be the long-term goal.
Yeah, very cool.
Or maybe even take a holiday. I mean, who knows?
Like, crazy.
I've heard they're amazing. Like, you know,
in the mountains.
I see pictures of other people having holidays. Yeah, it seems great. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, actually, I did forget to ask one more question. I'm sorry. Personal branding.
Yes.
You're the guru in Australia, for sure.
Thank you.
The guru. What would you suggest for startup founders to be doing?
Okay.
You know, what's the day one look like? What's the, you know, couple years in look like?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't something that I made like a conscious plan to think about until probably the last 2 years. It was really something that happened organically, and it wasn't until someone said to me, like, you have a personal brand whether you choose to control it or not. Like, this will continue to evolve around you. You have to decide whether you're going to sit down and go, okay, these are my values. This is what I want to be aligned with. What does that look like? And then how does that roll out in, you know, across social media, across the charities that I'm associated with, across the board seats that I take. So making more of a strategic approach, I guess, to what I was doing. I think the best thing that you can do is sit down and get really, really clear on that early in the piece and go, okay, what is it? What are my values? And what are our company values? And how does that align to make a personal brand? And then ideally get an amazing publicist or PR agent, or if you can't afford it, do it yourself. But get all of those together. So get a really great talent bio together. Make sure that you've got great headshots and team shots and everything that media might need. Work out, okay, well, what kind of media do I want to be featured in? What would actually align with my business? Do I want to be doing Who magazine? I don't know. Like, is that adding value to me and my company or not?
And do you just approach for people who can't afford getting PR teams or externals on board? Is it just literally approaching journalists and saying, hey, can we chat about something?
Yeah, I think, and there's SourceBottle, which is like a free directory where you can look up leads, journalists that are saying I'm looking for someone who's an expert in parenting, whatever. So there's lots of those out there now. And then, just reaching out to, obviously, in a professional and nice way, having something together, a little bit of a bio on your business, making sure, obviously, that your company webpage and socials and everything are all up to date. So it's really easy if a journalist needs an expert in self-managed funds or whatever, that, you're coming to the top of their search results and your socials are up to date and you're known as an expert in that field. So whether it's building out a personal website or whatever for that, then making sure you're their go-to, and then just shooting them a little quick polite note saying, hey, look, if you ever need someone in this space. Happy to make
I'm
fun
here.
of you. Yeah, exactly. Connecting with great people like Jen, who know everyone, who can put you forward for things. So
no, it's awesome. That's great advice. And if you could have a superpower, anyone in the world, what would you have? This is the one I ask everyone.
Oh my God. Probably pause time.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah.
I haven't had that one yet.
Probably, yeah. To be able to pause. Because I think you're so guilty of this when you're, especially in startups, like you're running so fast and like you're not often conscious of like what's going on. And just to be able to stop and take note and be like, holy shit, like we've made all of this. Or holy shit, like, you know, look at this. Or, you know, wow, okay, you're having a bad day. That's okay. Pause this moment. Take a couple of deep breaths. Yeah.
That's good.
So
really cool.
Probably just comes down to being present, which I'm not great at either. But yeah, I think definitely, or being able to just pause time, get a few emails done before everyone else would be awesome as well.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
It's great to catch up as always.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, guys.
Guys, we'll see you next time. Tune into Facebook page on Jen George. Also, check out all Taryn's links. So The Right Fit, sign up, check out the profile, do the process yourself. You never know, you might be in the Maldives sometime.
With me, I'm coming with you, just to be clear.
I vote for that. All right, have a good one, girls and boys.
See you guys.
And speak to you shortly. Bye.